Please rise and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning and welcome to RPtv. Today is Thursday, March 5th, 2020. The spreading of the coronavirus is bad enough, but now there are warnings about people who are trying to take advantage of the situation. Callie has that report.
The spread of the coronavirus in the U.S. has sparked fear and panic in the public. In New Jersey, hand sanitizers, face masks, and toilet paper have been on high demand as the people are stocking up. Sellers have taken this opportunity to mark up prices of products that are still available online, the most mind-blowing one being over $2,000, a $2,000 box of 100 face masks that you can buy on eBay. Because of this, authorities are now concerned with potential price gouging. The Division of Consumer Affairs encourages customers to file price gouging complaints with the State Attorney General's office. Unfortunately, in any public health scare, there are often disreputable businesses and scammers looking to take advantage of consumers' fears. The division urges consumers to beware of advertisements for products that claim to cure or prevent the coronavirus or other online offers and solicitations related to the disease, says a spokeswoman for Consumer Affairs. In the state's Consumer Fraud Act always prohibits unreasonable businesses practices such as unnecessary price spikes in response to a crisis. Amazon has sprung to action, removing more than 1 million products for making false claims related to the coronavirus. New Jersey's price gouging law, which forbids price increases of more than 10%, would not be able to be implemented until a state of emergency is called, and Governor Phil Murphy said in a news conference on Monday that New Jersey has a low level of risk and the state is not there yet.
Now it's time for announcements. Anime Club will be meeting today and March 9th. All students are welcome in room 105 after school. The Pasta Night will take place on Thursday, March 26th. This is also the opening night of the spring musical, so it's a great time to enjoy dinner and a show. Pasta Night begins at 5:30 p.m. and ends at 7 p.m. There's early access at 4 p.m. for all students involved in the spring musical. Ticket prices are $10 for adults, $7 for students and senior citizens, and $5 for kids 6 and under. Great food from many local restaurants will be served. Future Health Careers Club, in collaboration with retailer Aeropostale, is collecting gently used jeans that will be distributed to homeless teens. Jeans are the one item most requested by homeless teenagers. Please drop off or send to the nurse's office by Friday, March 27th. The Food Truck Festival will take place on Saturday, March 28th from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. There will be a $5 admission fee. Art Club and National Art Honor Society meets Fridays after school in room 102. We are working on projects and exploring new media. Join us. Also, Art Club and NAHS are collecting real or made-up recipes to raise money for undernourished people around the world. These can be any size, handwritten and decorated, and will be sent to a program funded by the Bezos Family Foundation. In March, the donation has been doubled. For each recipe submitted, $6 will be donated to organizations providing food. Please help. See Mrs. Scuccio for further information and supplies. The Borough of Roselle Park will hold its annual St. Patrick's Day celebration on Saturday, March 7, 2020, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Starting at 3 p.m., Joe Carosali's Masterpiece Orchestras will perform authentic Irish music. Authentic Irish food will be served during the event, which consists of corned beef and cabbage, boiled potatoes, carrots, Irish soda bread, and rye bread, as well as dessert. Mayor Signorello and the Borough Council invites everyone to join in the festivities. The Kane University Regional College Fair Trip will be on Wednesday, March 11, 2020 from 9:45 to 11:15 a.m. Sophomores and juniors only. Please get permission slip from guidance.
Honesty works both ways.
To give it is to receive it.
To me, honesty is the best policy.
Honesty is being truthful to yourself and your peers.
Honesty is being truthful to yourself.
If you want to be trusted, just be honest.
Honesty is being true to who you are.
Lying could cost you everything.
As we move closer to springtime, it seems as if the winter season is going to keep us on our toes. With the ever-changing forecasts, let's go to Soraya for the latest weather information.
If you are expecting any late winter snowstorms for this March, unfortunately for you, there won't be. It has been reported that there are 2 storm systems heading towards New Jersey, which may form into one big system, but according to weather sources, they will not hit New Jersey overall. In northwestern New Jersey, we should be expecting rain and light coats of snow. Nothing too serious, but for the rest of the state, it looks clear of snow. I don't see this as being a major storm by any stretch of the imagination, says Mike Malachi, a meteorologist at the Weather Works forecasting company based in Warren County. On Friday, as temperatures begin to drop later in the day and Friday night, some wet snow could mix in, mainly in high elevated areas north of the Interstate 78. In addition, we are expecting regular rain showers in the afternoon and temperatures in the 40s, but no sign of snow in the Garden State.
Stay tuned, we will be right back with a very special announcement.
You try your best, but you don't succeed. When you get what you want, but not what you need. When you feel so tired, but you can't sleep. Stuck in rivers, and the tears come streaming down your face. When you lose something you can't replace. When you love someone but it goes to waste. Could it be worse? Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones. And I will try to fix you.
Thanks for watching, have a great day, and stay tuned for CNN 10.
Election results from Fairhaven, Vermont. Lincoln the Goat has been defeated. There's a new mayor in town, and he's a therapy dog named Murphy. Welcome to CNN 10. I'm Carl Azus, and surprise, surprise, that's not the only political story we have today. Results are coming in from Super Tuesday, when more delegates are awarded than any other day in the U.S. presidential nomination process, and former Vice President Joe Biden and U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders from Vermont are now the two clear frontrunners for the Democratic Party. Analysts say they could have a long battle for delegates in the months ahead. Republicans will not. Incumbent President Donald Trump won all of the states that held primaries on Tuesday, so it's a foregone conclusion that he'll defeat his Republican challenger, former Massachusetts Governor Bill Weld. But we're focusing on the Democrats today because their race is less certain. When we produced this show, former Vice President Biden had won in 10 of the 14 states holding Democratic primaries on Super Tuesday. Senator Sanders won in at least 3 states. And in the one caucus held on Tuesday in the territory of American Samoa, the victory went to former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. Despite that, though, he dropped out of the race on Wednesday, leaving 4 Democrats still in it. Bloomberg said the delegate math just didn't add up for him to get his party's nomination. The math we had last night was incomplete. Biden was leading with 435 delegates to Sanders' 381. But California is the biggest prize from Super Tuesday with the most delegates, and Sanders was leading there, though final results may not be known for weeks. So it's possible he could catch or even pass Biden in the Super Tuesday delegate count. The process of counting delegates is a complicated one.
In the Democratic presidential primaries, voters go to the polls to pick their party's nominee for president. Their votes matter, but not in the way you might think. What they're really deciding is how many delegates each candidate is awarded from their state. And the nominee doesn't become official until those delegates meet at the Democratic National Convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in July. Delegates represent the choice of voters from around the country. Think of a delegate like a spokesperson for a group of voters, whether the group is an individual district or an entire state. So how does this all work? Convention delegates are awarded to candidates proportionally if a candidate is able to win at least 15% of the votes. Let's say candidate A gets 56% of the vote in a state, candidate B gets 24%, and candidates C and D get 10% each. Candidates C and D don't receive any statewide delegates because they did not get at least 15% of the vote. The total vote is now recalculated with the candidates who met that 15% requirement, A and B. The number of votes candidate A received is 70% of the total votes that are viable. That means candidate A gets 70% of the state delegates and candidate B gets the other 30%. Here's where it gets a bit complicated. Only about a third of all pledged delegates are awarded by statewide results. A majority are awarded based on the results in congressional or local districts. That means each state has a mix of statewide and district delegates. So, while the 2 remaining candidates, D and C, won't get any statewide delegates, they could be awarded other delegates if they get at least 15% of the votes in a local district. Once all the statewide and district delegates are awarded across the country, it's convention time. A candidate must have a majority of these delegates to win the official nomination. That magic number this year is 1,991. You also may be wondering what happens to the delegates allocated to candidates who dropped out before the convention. Well, it's up to the campaigns that are remaining to lobby those delegates and win them over to their candidate. There's one more twist to the delegate story. In addition to all the pledged delegates from states and local districts, there are also about 770 superdelegates, delegates made up of elected officials, activists, and party officials. They can pledge their vote to whichever candidate they want at the convention. But under new Democratic Party rules, superdelegates won't be able to vote on the first ballot for the nominee unless it's mathematically impossible for their votes to change the outcome. If no candidate wins a majority of delegates, meaning no candidate gets to 1,991 delegates on the first ballot, that's when a convention becomes contested or brokered. In that scenario, meaning a second ballot at the convention, superdelegates are now free to vote, and all the previously pledged delegates are also free to choose among the remaining candidates. Voting at the convention continues until one candidate wins a majority of all voting delegates, and then the Democratic Party has its nominee.
There's a state of emergency in the state of Tennessee. The National Weather Service says it doesn't know how many tornadoes touched down there earlier this week, but they left hundreds of buildings in shambles and killed at least 24 people. The middle part of the state, including some areas east of Nashville, the capital, were hit by tornado winds as high as 165 miles per hour. Tens of thousands of homes and businesses had no electricity yesterday. Schools around Nashville were closed. The tornadoes that struck on Tuesday morning were America's deadliest since one hit central Oklahoma in 2013. 10-second trivia. Which of these landmarks was completed the most recently? Eiffel Tower, Statue of Liberty, Washington Monument, or London Underground? The Eiffel Tower opened in 1889, making it the youngest landmark on this list. Gustave Eiffel, a bridge builder who designed the tower, also had a hand in the creation of another Parisian landmark, what's known as the world's first department store. And while Le Bon Marché isn't the biggest store in Europe, that title goes to Harrods of London, the French building has a unique history and allure all its own.
Thankfully, Paris is synonymous with shopping as it is elegance, and the city's vast monuments to shopping, its department stores, are destinations unto themselves, no less alluring than the Eiffel Tower or Notre Dame. The oldest and perhaps most famous of all of these is Le Bon Marché, or in English, the Good Deal.
Et on dit aujourd'hui que le Bon Marché est le premier grand magasin du monde parce que c'est le premier grand magasin véritablement encore en activité. L'histoire du Bon Marché débute véritablement en 1852 lorsqu'Aristide Boucicaut devient associé du magasin. Le Bon Marché commence comme une seule petite boutique située à l'angle de la rue de Sèvres et de la rue du Bac.
Aristide and his wife Marguerite slowly acquired several other buildings around their shop to form one huge store framed by these four streets.
It's located in Paris, in the Left Bank, and it's really linked to all the art and literature. It's like the world of fashion and beauty and cosmetic all together.
La structure propre du Bon Marché Rive Gauche a été en partie conçue par Gustave Eiffel.
Yes, the same Eiffel who created this.
Cette architecture permet de dresser un magasin sur plusieurs étages et sur une telle surface, permettant aux clients d'avoir un regard qui est porté au loin et de voir ce qui peut se passer à l'autre bout du magasin sans avoir à segmenter le magasin de murs porteurs.
This metallic architecture allowed for the creation of huge glass canopies to let lots of natural light in. Back in the mid-1800s, this was especially important as many buildings used gas lighting and tended to be quite gloomy. There are 13 of these canopies, and they're a signature feature of the store.
We like to have this kind of coup de cœur.
Coup de cœur? It's like a hit or blow to the heart, a crush or strong attraction, even love at first sight.
And if we have this coup de cœur, we hope our customer will have it as well.
One resident of Hamburg, New York said it looked fake, it looked unreal, and many of those who woke up to this last weekend wished it had been. Their homes were encased in ice. The temperature was in the low 20s, and gale force winds were buffeting large waves across Lake Erie. When they crashed to the shore, the mist coated the houses, creating a frozen winter wonderland that some were worried would damage their homes. We've heard of water damage, but that's ice, baby! And though it looked eerie, it's probably likely throughout the region. Icy conditions there are just superior. Our friends near Petoskey might see it in Michigan. Folks in Canada might be hearing about it, and some upstate New Yorkers may see it one day and think, Ontario, no. We've got some Bears watching today from Wingate High School. It's in Fort Wingate, New Mexico. We're grateful to be part of your day. I'm Carl Azus. CNN 10 is back with more news and puns tomorrow.